All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting, what it should be an exciting episode of TopperTalk. Here with, along with myself, Sean Williams. Woody White's back in the house after a 2-week hiatus. You're coaching soccer, though, so...
Coaching soccer at Russellville, taking up a good bit of time, but I'm glad to be here tonight.
And we've got the wall breaker down himself, WKU volleyball coach, Travis Hudson's in the house, so we appreciate you for joining us. We've been pumping up the show for your appearance the last couple of weeks, so we're going to talk a little bit of, we're going to talk a lot of volleyball, but you're also very diverse. We can talk a lot of sports, too, as well.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so let's get it started with, your expectations. When you got preseason polls coming out today, which is something we were talking about before we came on the show. You guys are favored to win the Sun Belt Conference again. And you guys are also ranked number 21 in the polls.
Yeah, it's been exciting. We've only been at it for a couple weeks to this point, but there's been a lot of good publicity on the front end. We finished 21st in the country last year after getting as high as 17th, and so when the preseason polls came out, it's good to see us get the respect in the preseason. We return all but 2 kids from our roster from a year ago, and so that came out about a week ago that we were 21st in the country preseason, and today the Sun Belt rankings came out, and we were the unanimous favorite to win it. So I guess it's all on the coach at this point. So
no pressure, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
Now, of course, Coach Hudson, he'll be joining us for the duration of the show, so please feel free to tweet at us at TopperTalkTV. Got any questions, comments, or anything like that? Of course, also, Coach Hudson being on the show, it is a big game week, the first football game of the season. UK, WKU down at LP Field in Nashville.
See my shirt, but I'm
check out the shirt
supporting
Woody's
last
wearing.
year's shirt for the win.
We tweeted out a picture before the show started, but he's representing the last year's Conquer. So hopefully the Tops can do that again. And just tweet us out any score predictions. You got any score predictions for the game? Tweet at us at TopperTalkTV. And we'll shout those out if our internet works properly. So, of course, Coach Hudson, you are, you're a big sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to all the games. I mean, what do you think about the football game coming up Saturday?
It's certainly generating a lot of buzz for a lot of reasons, and I don't think you could have more, hype surrounding it based on everything from the win in Lexington last year to the coaching changes to everything that's a part of it. But, I'm just really glad to see it get the support and attention that it deserves. Last time it was, kind of at a funny time on I think it was a Thursday night game, wasn't it?
Yeah, last time
it was hard, late kick, the whole deal.
8:15 kickoff.
Yeah. And so, I'm just excited to see all the energy, that there is about this game. And, I think our guys, it would be a huge boost, starting off the year for them. And I know they've had it circled on their schedule for a long time. And WKU UK, that's polarizing if it's checkers. So I know it'll be a big time in Nashville.
Yeah, and of course, I'm sure UK's had it marked on their calendar too as well, because apparently we disrespected them last season celebrating the win, but that's a whole nother story, right?
Well, I learned a long time ago in coaching that stuff, all that stuff matters until you throw the ball out.
Exactly.
And then it's about who's a better squad that day, and so we'll find that out come Saturday.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before. You got 2 SEC opponents for Western Kentucky starting off the season, so it would be quite ironic if Western Kentucky actually went 2-0 in the SEC East to start the season off. So we just crown us put us in the SEC championship game.
That would be fantastic way to start, I think.
Yeah. So let's go back, to volleyball. You guys are starting off the season this week, actually. So tell us a little bit about where you guys are starting off.
Yeah, we open. I know everybody's excited about the beginning of football season, but we open this weekend as well. Our season generally runs, pretty much in line with football season in terms of its beginning and its end. And we open this weekend up in West Lafayette, Indiana, at Purdue in a tournament, and we're ranked 21st in the country, but 2 of our 3 opponents this weekend are ranked above us. Purdue's ranked 16th, and we play USC, who's ranked 3rd preseason. And so, it's a challenging weekend. And then we come home Tuesday and play the OVC champions, Belmont, here in Diddle Arena, and then go to Tallahassee, Florida, and play 2 more teams that are ranked above us in Florida State and Ohio State. So in the first 10 days, we will certainly be exposed a little bit and find out who we are and I'm really excited and looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Like you said, you got the preseason ranking 21st in the nation, and then like you said, you got a tough schedule as well. You got a lot of teams that you play that are ranked higher than you, so it'll be a big challenge, especially at the first of the year. But what do you think about playing teams like that? You think it really toughens your team up for conference play whenever that time comes?
Well, I think it depends year to year, to be honest. Every year you hear coaches talking about we want to play a tough schedule, and I think you got to know who your team is a little bit. I think there's years that you can really get yourself in trouble, by doing that. And but this is a team that returns 10 of 12 kids. In a year last year where we beat the number 10 team in the country, Dayton, here in Diddle Arena. We beat Michigan at Michigan in a year that they ended up in the Final Four.
Yeah.
And, we played Ohio State very, very close. We beat Duke. So these kids have been in those situations, and I don't think it'll be too big a moment for them. And I think that they're beneficial to us because regardless of the outcome, I think we'll have great confidence moving forward. I think sometimes you can get in those situations and it sounds great and the fans want you to play those teams, but then when you lose, they want to know why you're not winning.
Yeah.
And it can be hard on kids mentally sometimes, but I think this is a group of kids that regardless, I think they want to be in those matches. I think they think we belong in those matches. And I think regardless of the outcome, I think moving forward, they'll know that we're a better team because we played them. And so this is a group in particular with 5 seniors that I think needs a schedule like this in front of them, and so we're looking forward to doing that.
That's you bring up the seniors. That was my next question. What does that group of seniors really mean to this team? I mean, you've got some great girls in there that have been through a lot.
Yeah, we every year, it's kind of become a deal where every year our kids are trying to do things that have never been done here, and that's getting harder and harder to do in our program with the success that we've had over the last few years. But our senior class has a very unique opportunity this year to be, in 2002, we had never been to an NCAA tournament in school history in the sport of women's volleyball. And, in that year, it's such a special experience for those kids to get to experience, that NCAA, that after that, I kind of made a promise to myself I never wanted a kid to play for me again that didn't get to experience the NCAA tournament. And, and we've been able to make that happen over the last decade. But this group of seniors is in the unique position that they can be the first group of seniors to have played in 4 NCAA tournaments in 4 years. Wow. Which, we don't have anybody in our locker room right now that doesn't know what it's like. That they think that's just what happens at the end of the year. And part of me loves that, and part of me hates that. And we talked about it yesterday. And a lot of things have to go right, and you have to stay healthy, and you have to do a lot of things really well to get there. And I don't know if this group fully understands that because it's all they know, but their coach knows a lot of years where it didn't happen, and so I know just how special it is. But I know, our motto for this year is one more, and it's one more trip through the Sun Belt Conference. It's one more conference championship. It's one more tournament championship. But it's also, those seniors have got 3. And they want to get one more ring, and it's kind of tough to beat 4 NCAA tournaments in 4 years, and so that one would be tough to top.
It's not bad. And you were actually telling us an interesting story about getting selected to the NCAA tournament, as an at-large team. Kind of tell us about the process and the RPI rankings and all that stuff.
Yeah, we've been 7 times now in the last 11 years. After having never been to the NCAA tournament. And many of those years it's been through a conference championship, a Sun Belt tournament championship, but there had never been a school in the Sun Belt Conference to get an at-large bid in women's volleyball. And our tournament is just like the men's basketball tournament. It's a 64, 65 team tournament, whatever it is, 68 now, I guess.
Keeps increasing.
Basketball tournament. But, the RPI that you talk about and all that, it's very similar to what it is in women's volleyball. And in 2000, I think it was 2006, 2007, I can't remember which year, we became the first team to ever get an at-large bid to the Sun Belt tournament or to the NCAA tournament. And you were talking about scheduling earlier, and one of the things, the Sun Belt, we've dominated the Sun Belt the last couple years, but we're not doing a lot to help ourselves RPI-wise in the Sun Belt over the last couple of years. So we have to schedule super aggressive in that first month of the year to give ourselves a chance, because it's the same conversation that they have in March when you flip on ESPN or whatever. Yes, you have to have the RPI, but they're also going to say, well, who have they played?
Exactly.
And we want to make sure that we're not giving them any reason to leave us out.
Yeah.
And but it's a tense time. I've become an RPI guru, and I really do, as I told you before we came on, I really do believe we were the last team on the board that got selected that first year that we got an at-large, and we've since done that again and have been in position for a couple more if we hadn't won the tournament. So, but it's unfortunately for us, we have to really make our statement RPI-wise in the first 4 weeks of the season, and that can be pretty tough.
Yeah, and of course we were talking about that earlier with the tough schedule you guys have. It's, I guess you kind of make it that way for a reason,
Yeah, we're ranked 21st preseason. We're playing 4 teams that are ranked above us in the first 10 days. And so I challenge anybody to say that we're not going out playing people. And but it's what our kids come here to do. When we recruit kids, we tell them we feel like we can play with anybody in the country, and we're going to give them an opportunity to go out and do that.
Yeah, and I think you showed that. Obviously, WKU here has shown that. Like you were saying last year, you go up to Michigan and beat them. They're in the Final Four. You beat Dayton here. They were ranked number 10 at the time. So definitely doing some big things over there at WKU.
Well, we just got to keep it going.
Yeah, just got to keep it going. So, we kind of want to bring up the Topper U event that happened recently. Tell us a little bit about that and your kind of message to the crowd and everything.
Well, it was great fun. There's so many events when we have all of our freshmen on campus for a week. The entire freshman student class is here for a week on campus before school starts, and they have several events, and we're right in the middle of two-a-days. And so it makes for an awfully long week for me, because after two-a-days, it seems like every night I was out speaking to some group. We spoke to all the RAs, in the Housing and Residence Life group one night, and and one night we went to the Topper U event where they had the entire freshman class gathered in Diddle Arena, and they gave me the mic for 6 or 7 minutes to talk about our program, and there was great energy in that building, and I talked to those kids about, yes, I'd like to think I've done some things to help build our program. Yes, I think we have great players. Yes, but man, that student involvement is such a huge part of getting us where we want to get. A big part of us being in the top 25 last year was knocking off the number 10 team in the country. Yeah. And we did that in Diddle Arena. And we did that with a student group. We have our very own student group that we call Hudson's Hill Raisers.
I've heard about those, yeah.
And they sit down in the end zone right beside our pep band. And they're nuts, and they're in the ear of the fans or the opposing team. And it was a chance for me to get in front of those freshmen and ask them to come out and be a part. And, I challenged them all to do one thing, and I challenge anybody in this community to do the same thing. I know how busy everybody is. I know they got a million things going, but I just challenge everybody to come one time. I tell them, just come watch us play one time. Yeah. And if you don't want to come back after coming one time, thank you. Thanks for doing
Give it a try.
Doing the favor for me.
Yeah.
But so many times that we have so many people who are season ticket holders, who are regular people in our stands now, that will say, and it doesn't offend me, they'll say, I was on campus for a football game, tailgating, and I just walked over because I heard you guys were playing. Yeah. And they walk in and they see the athleticism, and they see because our sport is so unique, because, in basketball, the rim's 10 feet high for men and it's 10 feet high for women. In volleyball, the net is almost 8 feet tall for men and it's about 7.5 feet tall for women. And so you really get a sense of the athleticism of these female athletes. And, I want people to come one time. It's a great product, and our kids play with great pride and great energy. And I think it would be enough to bring you back if you came one time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my story as a fan. My first year here on campus was just like that. I've always come to Western Sports, and then I knew y'all were playing, and I, walked in, and Megan Argerbright was playing, and I was like, man, this girl could jump over me, and I'm a pretty tall guy. So, I kept coming back. I've tried to get to as many games as I could, since then. And like I said, if you get out one time, like, you're going to be hooked. Like, it's such a fun sport to watch. And like you said, just the intensity and the athleticism that's there. It's not really like any other sport.
It's really
sure.
not. And it's funny, every 4 years we have this Olympic cycle. And when the Summer Olympics hits, everybody watches volleyball.
Yeah.
Everybody. They're like, man, that was unbelievable. They're hitting the ball so hard. And then, you hope that translates. But it's really a sport seen live. Like, you can't really understand the athleticism on display and how hard they're hitting the ball and all those things until you see it in person. And Diddle's a great venue, and people have the opportunity to get right down courtside. Go to basketball games, and some of you can afford those red towel seats for basketball games, and some of us sit up closer to the where the air's blowing around up at the top. But for volleyball matches, it's open seating. You can come down, sit right there courtside, and it's a lot of fun.
Always good. Students just come down the front row and just sit there and act like they're a G man. Big pimping.
That's it.
So you talk about the Hudson's Hill Raisers. I mean, is there any special initiation process to be a part of that?
It's just we had a sign up for all the freshmen on campus at one of the events that they had, but not any student that's interested in becoming a part of it, all they got to do is contact the volleyball office.
Okay.
Any one of us at the volleyball office, and we'll get them. And we have shirts printed up that say Hudson's Hill Raisers, and I get them food from time to time, and we give them pregame chalk talks.
Well, there you go.
Where they can come in 30 minutes prior to the game. I hate warm-ups. That's my thing.
Coach that finally admits it.
Nothing good can come from me watching warm-ups in a game. So I show up courtside about 5 minutes before the match starts.
Okay.
So I actually do a pregame chalk talk in the media room for season ticket holders and for our Hill Raisers and students.
Cool.
That they can come in, and I'll talk about who we're playing that night.
Yeah.
And some of the things to look for and what we have to do to succeed and all those kinds of things. And so the Hill Raisers can come be a part of that as well. And so it's great, and I love them. We've got a lot of students that attend, but we've got a core group of about 10 or 12 guys that you can book it. They're going to be there front row, and they're going to be crazy, and they really, really are an important part of our program.
The guys that are shirtless and have their chest painted.
That's them.
I've got to know a few of them.
How many letters there are in Hilltoppers? We
Yeah.
at least have that many core guys because they've all got a letter on their chest.
Just keep adding letters to Hilltoppers.
That's it. Let's go. We'll go Hilltoppers.
Go Hilltoppers.
Let's go Western Kentucky
Hilltop.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah, we can throw it out there.
Write a book.
And I got to go out to the Western soccer game Friday, and the freshman class was there in pretty good numbers, and it was a good crowd. So I'm hoping that'll translate to volleyball and every other sport too.
Yeah, so I'm glad I asked you about the Hill Raisers, because if anybody's interested out there watching the show or watches the show on the replay, you can contact the volleyball office and be a part of it.
Yep, we not only will welcome you, we need you.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, it's the one thing left. Our facilities are on par with anybody in the country. We're traveling like everybody else. We're doing everything at the highest level. And now what we have to do is create an atmosphere like none other to really catapult us into one of the upper echelon schools in the country.
Now, talk about the crowd. You talk about the Hill Raisers and the crowd, the atmosphere and everything like that. I mean, how's the crowd been? Have you kind of seen an increase in the crowd?
No question about it. Every year,
here?
we've built, we've had great momentum every year. And, I'm excited to get in there this year. Last year was such a unique opportunity that, the Sunbelt tournament was here. And, I told you our kids are always talking about things that have never been done. And we had won several Sunbelt tournaments, but we had never won one in Diddle Arena.
Gotcha.
And so last year, we really wanted to build atmosphere. So when we got to tournament time, it made a difference. And I'm telling you, if you were in Diddle the day we beat North Texas to win the championship, part of me always thought I liked having the tournament on the road because you don't have as many distractions and all that. But, man, doing it in Diddle in front of our fans was something I'll never forget. And it just was different. It was just great to celebrate it with all the fans and see how much joy they took in it. And it's just grown every year. 19 years ago when I started, we had as many people sitting on our bench as we did in the stands, I think, at our games. And every year it continues to grow. And now, Depending on the match, I think, you'll see anywhere. I think our crowds are probably anywhere from probably 800 to 1,500, 1,600 on a given night. And I'm telling you, when you get those 1,600 down right around the court, it's a pretty doggone good atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
The Ohio State match last year, I got to be there for that one, and that was a super intense
It was a
atmosphere.
fantastic
That was a really good one.
atmosphere. And then the conference championship, I don't know what the final attendance was on that, but I know it was over it was well over 2,000.
Wow.
And again, to see those people celebrating with our kids, it's something that's always been important to me, is for this community and this campus to feel like it was their team. And I feel strongly about it. I mean, I'm a Hilltopper. I graduated from WKU myself, and I want it to be something that everybody, from the president of the university to, the people who work in Duck or in Preston Center or anywhere else on campus, or the Downing Student Union.
Yeah, you gotta get that right.
Sorry.
That
That one's on me. Yeah, that one's on me. That's going to die hard for me. I've been around here too long,
know.
but it's something I want everybody to take great pride in, and not only the wins and losses, but how our kids go about it.
Good. And
That's another thing, just you say that. I think one of the best things about the program is that every girl that's played for you has graduated from here.
Yeah, it's when you start getting me to list, one of my favorite things I've ever heard, not that he's my favorite coach, although I do think he's terrific at what he does, but when he said it, I thought, yeah, that's me as a coach. I heard Mike Krzyzewski on TV, Coach K, one time say, when my career's over, if I'm only judged by wins and losses, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's really a sad statement. And I couldn't agree more with that. Certainly the wins and losses, I'm a competitor, and I want to do that, but there's so much more to what I want our program to be about. And, yeah, I've been the head coach 19 years, and in those 19 years, we have a 100% graduation rate.
That's awesome.
In 19 years, and that's completing the mission. To win at a high level and for kids to graduate and move on and do great things. That's what I come in for every day.
Yeah, and you were talking about it before we kind of went on air. Being a head coach anywhere you are, whatever program it is, it's more about knowing X's and O's and things like that. It goes well beyond that.
Yeah, we were talking about that beforehand, and I don't think great coaches are made because they understand X's and O's more than the person beside them. I think you do need to understand X's and O's, but I think great coaches are great coaches because of, how much respect they have from their players and for their players.
Yeah.
I think it's, how much trust there is with their players and with their coaches. And, I think it's a relationship. I think it's, being able to communicate. I think it's all those things. If you ultimately ask me why our program has been successful, I would tell you it's because, more than anything else, it's because, our kids don't want to let me down, and I don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way every day. And the trust we have, in that huddle when it's tight and I'm on them about something, that trust gets us through because, we sat on the bus and talked about their brothers and sisters and their mom and dad, and that's what makes it special, in my opinion. And the coaches that understand that are the ones that succeed at the highest level. I think anybody could, trust me, I know my intelligence level. Anybody can learn as much volleyball as I've learned in my career, and I'm not reinventing the game, I can promise you. But I think we got kids that have a ton of pride in wearing that WKU across their chest, and they walk out there not wanting to let each other down every day, and I think that's pretty special. Cool.
That's a very good answer, and kind of get our viewers to understand a little bit about your volleyball team this year. I mean, who are some of the your key players that you're going to rely on?
Well, that's probably why we're the unanimous preseason pick. We got a lot of them.
I know you said you're returning 10 to 12.
Yeah, we returned 10 to 12. We returned actually today the preseason rankings came out, and they have 8 people on the preseason all-conference team. There's 10 teams in the league. There was 8 people on the preseason all-conference team, and WKU has 4 of the 8.
Exactly.
And, so Melanie Stutzman, our setter, is a 3-time All-American. As a junior, going into her senior year, that's getting it done at a high level. Ashley Potts, who I think is the driving force of our team, she's the defensive player of the year. Any coach in any sport will tell you, the defense is what drives it.
Yeah.
And she does. Paige Wessel, who's another senior, was on the preseason all-conference team, and I think she may be the premier offensive player in the conference this year. And then the fourth member of it was Heather Boyan.
Okay.
And Heather's going to be a junior middle hitter for us. And, all four of those kids are terrific. Noelle Langenkamp, our other middle hitter, was an all-conference player a year ago. And so, we don't lack for talent. We don't lack for talent. We just got to continue to work and be cohesive and be accountable to each other. That's what we're trying to get across right now is wanting to be great every day for each other and demanding that greatness of each other, because sometimes you can get comfortable in the situation we're in, and I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah, and you were kind of talking before we came on air. You said you had a really good practice today. I mean, how's that been going overall?
Yeah, we did. I don't know if we had a great practice today or we just had a really bad one Saturday.
Okay.
And this one just
counteracted
balanced it out.
each other.
But it really, a lot of times on the first day, class started here on campus today, and a lot of times you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
When they've been in class all day and all that. But you know what? They came in really locked in today, and I think it's game week. And again, I think we got a group of kids that understand, that it's time. And and sometimes two-a-days are a grind when you've been through it for 2 or 3 times. But we've gotten through it pretty healthy, and we're excited to get started.
All right, sounds good. Now, I know you bought some tickets last year for the softball game. I'm gonna throw this scenario out. You're gonna buy like 10,000 tickets for the football game this Saturday.
I'm still paying
fans?
for that was a real cute idea until I got the bill, and I was a little bit bothered. I'm a man of my word, and I bought, I think 375 was the final number or something like that, final total. But I'm a man of my word, and I was going to pay for them, but I'm telling you, that softball championship was on a Saturday. Monday morning, I had a bill in my box. I was like, dang, I don't know if they think they got to track me down quick or what, but
just paying that monthly installments, Coach.
Yeah, I guess. But that was phenomenal to see our softball team have an atmosphere to win that conference championship. And again, that's what being a Hilltopper is, and I'm a proud Hilltopper for sure. But 10,000 at LP Field.
Well, I'm just saying, you got 10,000 extra tickets. We'll just dish them out to the students.
I think that'd be great. I think if I'm going to do that, I should at least be able to attend.
Yeah.
And we're going to be up at West Lafayette, so
you're going to be busy.
We'll be a little bit busy.
Okay. Well, I'm just throwing that out there. Go ahead, Woody.
Yeah, I just think, you kind of hit on it there. I think that's one of the coolest things about, WKU sports is that, every program is so involved with each other. Anytime you go to any athletic event, you see, the other athletes there. And I think that's one, real special thing about, the school here. And I love seeing it.
Look, there's a reason why I've been here for almost 20 years now. And, with the success that our kids have achieved on the court, there's been plenty of opportunities for me to, go do it somewhere else. But there's no place in my mind that's as special as this one. And it's special because of the people, and it's special because of the culture that's developed. And the athletics department is just a small part of it. I think it goes on all over this campus in terms of the support, for each other. And, it's certainly something that we hope to continue to cultivate.
Good. Now we got a little bit of time left. We're kind of running out of time, but you guys got predictions. I'm going to start with Woody. You got predictions for the football game Saturday?
I think WKU is going to take it 27-21.
27-21. I'm going to go with 31-26. I'm going to throw out like an oddball score. Western Kentucky wins. What about you, Coach?
Gosh, let's go. Let's keep it exciting. What was it last year? 32-31?
32-31, yeah.
I'm going to go 28-27 tops.
Okay. Is this going to be another overtime trick play?
This is going to be I don't know about it's going to be overtime.
I can handle that, too.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a great game, and I'd give anything to be in the stands to see it, but we got work to do on our own. So
definitely got work to do. And speaking of work, go check out the volleyball team this year. Go check out the schedule on WKUsports.com. And like I said, I know people are busy and everything like that, but, hey, if you can come to a game, like you said, if you come to one game, you'll be hooked, right?
I'd love it. I'd love to see people out there. And if you do, come by and see me and say hello.
All right. We'll be back next week. We want to thank you, Coach Hudson, again. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.